Well, hello, sunshine. We got a couple carburetors here I'm going to rebuild. Warborough WTEA 1, maybe 112. I got an aftermarket carburetor, and of course we put these are for a Husqvarna 455 Rancher. These are, of course, Strato. You can see that. Awful proud of this daggum carburetor stand. I come up with that idea all by myself. No, actually I stole this idea off of the old Greasy Shop Rag. He's a pretty good YouTube channel, and he sells them there. So if you ain't got the time, desire, whatever to build one, he sells them over there. And I built this in here a while back. I stole the idea from him, but I never showed using the daggum thing because it just didn't seem like the right thing to do. If he's selling them, I'm not going to tell people to, because I got the idea from him, right? If I'd thought up the idea on myself, that'd have been different. But I didn't. I stole the idea from him. So therefore, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you guys to make your own. Now, here just a day or two ago, and it takes me a while to edit, a video he put out just a day or two ago. Yeah, he offered that he sells them, but encouraged you to make your own. They're pretty easy. So, that being said, I'm going to take a moment just to tell him thanks for giving me this idea. And no, I ain't got a dog in the fight, neither does he. I ain't never talked to the man of my life. But I'm also the kind of guy that thinks, well, if I get an idea from somebody, I'm not the person that runs out and makes a video on it and claims to be, boy, I'm the smartest guy in the world, right? I just come up with this idea. No, I'll share it because different people probably watch me and watch him. And if you want to buy one, go to his place. I don't have a dog in the fight. He don't know I'm making this video. I ain't never talked to him. I've left a comment or two on his channel. He's left a comment or two on mine. Just enjoying each other's videos, but it ain't like we know anybody any better than anybody else. That's that. I've got these old, I've got two of these stock carburetors. That we're going to check and see. Now, guys, I think about stuff different than everybody else. This diaphragm here is a little stiff, right? And that's the metering, that's the metering diaphragm. And I think about so much stuff better as a 4-stroke guy than a 2-stroke guy. These carburetors, I don't know, they don't make no sense. Well, they do if I start changing terminology. This thing to me, and you can argue that I'm wrong, but it's how I like thinking about it. This here is like the float bowl, or like the float in the bowl of your carburetor, right? And if this thing's stiff, this thing moves up and down and adjusts basically the bowl level in here, right? Between that and the metering lever. If this thing's stiff, picture that like a float bowl that won't pivot on us. If you take apart a carburetor and the float don't drop down, you're like, well, heck, there's a problem. That needs freed up in there, right? So that float will come down, let the needle drop, let fuel in. Well, that's essentially all this diaphragm's doing. It's going up when it needs fuel, or it's going up when it's full of fuel, and going down and pushes that float when it's not. And it's in a relaxed state. And if it's got a bad memory to it or stiff, it might be in a relaxed state where it's holding your needle open. Just run gas and you can't ever get it started again when it's hot because it just puked gas back into it from the pressure in the tank. Or if it's stiff up, it never gets down low enough to beat on that needle and open that needle up. So I don't know, hopefully that helps you a little bit. That one there's pretty stiff. I'll have to see if I got a new one. If I don't, I'll have to order one. I may have to order a couple kits. This, somebody used a number, that's a number 1. That's supposed to be a number 1 Phillips there. Somebody's used either a number 2 or a hatchet on it. It's hard to tell which. So we'll put us a number 1 screwdriver down in there instead of a number 2 and hopefully not beat that out any worse. But this little stand, man, you talk about just making that something that's just slick and easy to work on. Especially, I think, putting this needle and seat back in there, because I always chase these carburetors around like a dog chasing a mailman. And I fight and carry on. Man, I hate these forceps. When you're left-handed, everything's built for a right-handed person. But anyhow, I'm tearing this down because I'm gonna run both these carburetors through the pressure washer. That one that's diaphragm there is just pretty stiff. So this here is gonna need a kit. I don't have one, so I'll order one, and I'm gonna take that other part. If I need two, fine. If not, I'll save the best pieces out of one and put in another. Well, I'll go check and see if I got a diaphragm. That's got the old blue diaphragm in there. Now those, in my humble little opinion, are not near as good. And it's got a memory in it. It's not going to pump fuel as well as it should. It's kind of got a divot right there. So yeah, we're needing some goodies there. We'll need a screen in it, and just we'll pop that out right now, huh? And I should have some of them. But I think what we're going to do, we're just going to pull everything out of this in here, set it in a little baggie. Somebody's took the locks out of this screw, which is fine. That's the low jet screw. They've took the tamper proofs out of these, which they just saved me a trip, but my spline one still fits it. And the high jet screw. Just trying to look at the difference. Low jet shorter. Okay, high jet's longer. All right, well, we can remember that. So, but anyhow, guys, I wanted to show you that. I'm going to get these through in the pressure cooker. We'll get them back together and probably get them on that saw after we put that lowered cylinder on it. I just wanted to show you that little doodad there and give credit where credit's due on the idea. I had to paint it up. Just didn't know, so it looks ugly. If it was my idea, I'd have left her rusty. Well, we've been waiting for parts for about a week. I ain't even made a video in a little bit. Of course, you guys wouldn't know that because they just kind of come out and come in as I go, as I get time to make them. But you can probably tell I had a little bit of a beard last time, and I don't this time. Well, that's because it's been a little bit waiting on parts to come in. We got a carburetor kit in now, so you know, I was always the guy that I'd buy a $12 carburetor before I'd buy a $8 carburetor kit, because, well, let's face it, I ain't good on carburetors. Wasn't good on carburetors. Still ain't good on carburetors. Let's say I'm not good on carburetors. I don't think there's a spring. I don't think we got our spring in that kit. We'll have to reuse our old spring there, won't we? And I've got all the parts for that. Got all the parts for both these carburetors, and I thought I ordered 2 kits, but I only got one. I got 2 carburetors here. Anyhow, I'm about of the opinion, now that I've got to messing with them just a little bit, that I can buy a carburetor kit and put in one of these carburetors and just refresh it if nothing's too bad. And have a better carburetor when I get done for about the same amount of money, or less money. It's kind of almost a little bit of a no-brainer. There's that little sprig. I was afraid my chickens had ate it. Man, this little carburetor stand, I may get a little bit redundant here because it's been a couple weeks since I probably made the first part of this video. This little carburetor stand, like I say, I got the idea off the greasy shop rag. That's why it's wrote on there. I don't like when people steal my ideas and pretend they're their own, and I don't and I don't want to steal other people's ideas without giving them credit. That's the only reason it's got paint on there, so I could write his name on it. He don't know me from Adam. He watches the channel a little bit, I assume, because, well, we gotta get some glasses on. I think I'm gonna put that lever in there backwards because I can't even see it. I did, had it in there backwards. And then you got that little magnet on there just to catch stuff when you drop it. That's pretty nice. But no, that little carburetor stand, man, that's slicker than, yeah, that stuff. Pretty good business. So, yeah, let me get this carburetor together, and we got our exhaust gasket in. So I'm gonna get this old carburetor back together, and I got my exhaust gasket so I can put that back together. Let's see if we can get this old saw fired up on this video. And yes, I know you guys were sitting there just hollering and screaming and jumping up and down, beating at that screen that I was putting the diaphragm on there before the gasket. That's why I had to shut the camera off so I could go ahead and put my mind back on what I was doing. Carry on. Now, if any of you guys are tighter than a gnat's ass stretched around a rain barrel like I am and don't have the screws to hold these carburetors on, I think they're about $9 a piece, even aftermarket, cheapest I could find. Saw didn't come with them. Concrete screws, just right. These are 3/16 by 2 3/4. I cut 3/4 of an inch off them, cut about a 1/4 inch off the 1 1/4 ones. Worked fine, lasts a long time. All right, 25 thousandths out of the bearing pockets, 25 thousandths off the base. Different, new piston, new rings, 15 thousandths off the top of the piston. Set my squish at about 18 thousandths. You guys just seen rebuilt carburetor. Haven't adjusted on the carburetor any. But I have started it. I'm not going to lie to you guys and sandbag you. Out of gas. Let's get some gas in it. Really ain't got enough gas in it, but we'll prime it. I'm not going out to the fuel tank tonight to get fuel. Well, I guess it helped just get the fuel filter down there in the bottom. My fuel line's too long. But anyhow, guys, appreciate it. That's where we're going to stop for today. I'm going to put a little bit of time on it just so I ain't sandbagging it with brand new rings. You guys have heard every hit that thing's made since it had rings in it. Other than I just fired it up, make sure it didn't have egg on my face. So I'll probably put it in the wood just a little bit, saw just a little bit of firewood with it. Then we'll get it on dyno, but we're going to call it a video for now. We'll get her on dyno on the next go. Appreciate her, guys. For earned her, give her the old hitchhiker. If I didn't, give her the old Julius Caesar. Consider subscribing if you quit hollering at you. Consider subscribing if you want to see more harebrained stuff like this. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.